All right, we got local legend Jolly Bean on the
Hey.
podcast.
Hey, thank you for inviting me.
Yeah,
Charles.
no problem. Yeah, I'm excited to have you on. So I would say, so for the guys that are not familiar with Jolly Bean, probably the most unique Chicago comedian. Would you agree?
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean,
Yeah.
have you ever
The
been
one and only Jolly Bean.
right?
Yes.
Have you ever been watching another Chicago comedian and be like, they're doing just what I'm doing? You know?
Oh no, hopefully not. Never.
Hey, there could be some Jolly Bean imitators out there eventually. You know.
Hopefully not.
Hey, it's what happens when I've actually seen this. It's interesting that the comics that people imitate, like when I first started about 8 years ago, is different from now. You'll see as like comics get more famous, you start to see locals kind of imitating them and copying them a little bit.
So, which celebrity comedians are they imitating now, from your observation?
I would Shane Gillis, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you see comics do the thing where they go like this. That's kind of like a Shane Gillis thing. You see that one quite a bit, I think. Not that he invented that, but I think some comics get so famous that you almost have to, like, they're doing things that every comic is doing, but you have to like stay away from it.
Yeah,
Because
I
it's
agree.
so it's so known.
You don't want to be a copycat of somebody.
No,
you want
no.
to be yourself.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So if you start seeing me do sets where I've got bears, but they're just different colors.
Yeah.
So how did you? So when did you start? Well, first of all, how long have you been doing stand up? First of all.
Actually, I started December 16, 2018. Yeah, that's the second city class student showcase.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, it's almost 5. Yes, a few days away from 5 years.
Okay. Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's a good.
How about you?
About 8 years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, about 8 years.
Yeah.
When did you start the thing with the bears? Is that?
Not really. I first, I took singing lessons before. At the beginning, I want to do a joke about lyrics. That's how I started.
Oh, interesting.
And I signed up for a class at Second City.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And but with the bears, you started like right away using those, or?
Actually, I purchased the bears 3 months later from Amazon. I didn't know they are Beanie Babies, and they were once so popular.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, and later I know, they are called Beanie Babies. And at that time, I already had my stage name, Jolly Bean. And I think, that's our destiny to be together.
Yeah.
Or the Infinite Beans comedy troupe.
That's right. I never thought about it. I don't know why I never put that together. Jolly Bean and the Beanie Babies. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Those things, I remember, what was it? Was that like the late 90s or the early 2000s, I think, when Beanie Babies were like, everyone was collecting them up and but they ended up not being valuable.
Yeah, actually, I came to the U.S. 2007. So
2007, okay.
Yeah, so I don't know, they were once so popular.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. And where are you from?
I'm from Tianjin, China.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's that?
It's 2 hours drive from Beijing, and right now it's only like 30 minutes train, the express train from Beijing.
Okay,
it's
interesting.
What
is that town like? Is it? I mean,
it's
I'm not
city.
familiar with.
It's
So it's
a
like
large
a
city. Yeah.
pretty big city. Okay,
Yeah, pretty big.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, what is like how does it compare to the size of Chicago? Way bigger?
It's bigger actually.
Is it? Okay.
Population, I think, is bigger. Yeah.
Okay. What was that adjustment like coming to Chicago? How different did the city feel?
The physical location is like Philadelphia.
Okay.
If you look at the map of China, it's the physical location, the similar weather. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So where you're from in China, it's pretty cold. It gets cold in the winter.
Philadelphia isn't that cold.
Okay.
Not as cold as Chicago, at least.
Oh, so you're saying so it's more like Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I understand that. Yeah. No, interesting. Have you gone back and done stand-up?
Yeah, actually, I just came back from China like 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
Okay. What's the comedy scene like out there?
That's a long story. In China, if you want to do a show, you have to submit your script word by word.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a new rule.
Interesting.
I believe there's censorship. They want to make sure nobody's saying anything inappropriate.
Oh, is it more like
even the small shows? Yeah, like a couple hundred audience, you have to submit your material in advance, word by word.
Are there comedians that that have gotten in trouble with the government there?
I believe, yeah, there are.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of stuff is it that they're looking for? Is it more of the like the kind of thing that would make a movie like X-rated or rated R, or is it like talking bad about the government and things like that? I mean,
No, like pornography.
yeah, yeah.
It's not appropriate. And we is definitely not.
Okay.
Drugs, definitely
Like, so you
not.
can't talk about drugs, comedy in
Definitely
China.
this law is very different in Asia. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Do you have to change your act up a lot when you go back?
No, I don't talk about drugs either here. But,
Okay.
I mean,
So you do a Chinese-friendly act in America, the same.
I'm sorry.
So you say you don't do. There's not stuff you do in America that you couldn't do in China.
There are
Okay.
many culture differences. If you say to a Chinese crowd, they won't understand.
Okay.
There are like I talk about deep dish pizza. Nobody knows what that is, but everybody loves it here.
Yeah. That's interesting. What about like that's something I've always been curious about. So when you go back to China, do you do do you do stand up in English still, or do you speak it in the?
I have quite a few Chinese jokes which can only be told in Chinese.
Okay, yeah, I was wondering, like, do they translate well? Is it tough?
Some of them can translate, some not. Unfortunately.
Okay. That makes sense because the timing, the words and the spacing and everything is so important in a joke. It'd be tough, I would imagine, to be able to translate to a different language.
Not only even the content, like I said, deep dish pizza.
Right.
Nobody knows what that is in China.
Yeah.
And guess what? Domino's is considered maybe a higher end brand in China.
Interesting.
Pizza. Yeah, because pizza it's a new thing in Asia, you know.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, like in China. Yeah.
You could bring deep dish back. Go back over there. Start Jolly Beans deep dish.
You know what? Actually, the bear's idea, this is inspired by a traditional Chinese comedy pattern called the crosstalk, where two guys, they stand by each other. They do punchlines and they do premise and punchlines for each other. That's what the bears are doing. That's what
Interesting.
inspired me, actually. With the,
Okay. So like it's like your version of like your interpretation of like a what they call it, like a duo act where you,
Yeah, like who's first?
oh, gotcha,
Yeah,
like a who's on first kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Who's on first? Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And so the bears are like are they like like how do you play off of them? So it's like are they like a different character to you where it's like
Not really. Right now, the setup is they're both dumb, but
okay.
they are trying to prove each other the dumber one.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
All right.
just JoJo calling Yo-Yo dumb, but that's just
Okay.
the pot calling the cat black.
That's funny. So it's like you're like the referee. You know,
Yeah.
they're fighting. Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
But most of the time, one says a dumb premise, the other gives a dumb punchline.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's interesting the way you put out a lot of clips and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Which people
Instagram.
can follow you on. What your Instagram is just Jolly Bean on.
Jolly Bean comedy.
Yeah, on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that's the new way. That's one reason I, of course, got this. I used to do a podcast a long time ago, and I did the opposite of most people. I stopped doing my podcast when I started comedy, which is so stupid, But I recently got it going again because
Nice.
you have to. Yeah, social media is everything.
Yeah.
Have you like what kind of when did you start doing that? Just start posting, right? Because I see you with your camera all the time when I see you doing sets.
Yes, it's been a year maybe. I started sharing my own content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. What are you thinking about? Maybe putting out something longer at some point? Are you going to do like a special or at some point?
Hopefully one day I can have a special.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, right now I'm doing many jokes without the bears, only by
Okay.
myself.
Yeah. How would you like when you do like a longer set? Do you do like the bear jokes? Do you do them together or do you like spread it out? Or?
Not really.
Okay.
It's either only the bears or either only myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. What about the bears? They open? Are you open with the bears?
They're my employees. They have to listen to me.
Oh, okay. All right. What about they get paid though, right? You share some of the money with them?
They have a joke which they keep complaining I didn't pay them fairly.
Oh, okay. This one looks rich though. Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that. It's got some bling on. That one's rich. That one's making money.
You know, That's actually a joke. They're beanie babies. So they really hate one idiom. Spill the beans. And then Jojo says, hey, you know what? Look at the bean necklace Yo-Yo is wearing. Yeah, he paid me $100 for that because I told him it's from the Tiffany's. But actually, I got it from the dollar store. Please don't spill the beans of that bean necklace. And then Yo-Yo said, I know the necklace is fake, but I don't care because the 100 bill I gave her is fake too. That's one joke about the necklace.
Do you ever worry that they're going to go out and start doing sets on their own? I'd be worried about that.
I'm very afraid of that. Then
like,
they will leave me and start their own comedy group.
I know.
I won't let that happen.
Yeah, you can't. They're your thing. You can't let you can't let the Bears go out and do sets. If I ever see one at an open mic doing sets, I'll let you know.
You may not know it yet. I have two larger bears. They're also green and red, and they're their understudies.
Okay.
So whenever they want to race, I will tell them. You see, I have
replace them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, replacement. Yeah.
Nice. Have you thought about doing any other stuff like in entertainment, like outside of just comedy and things like that?
Actually, I also sing.
Oh, okay.
That's how I started doing stand-up, because at the beginning I want to do a joke which I talk about lyrics.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Do you do you go to like sing like music open mic nights and do that?
No,
okay.
not the whole song, just
Oh, gotcha.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What what kind of like what are some of the big comics from China that everyone knows that I might not know?
You don't know any of them. They're Chinese speaking. I don't think you really know any of them.
Okay.
But have you ever heard of a comedian called Joe Wong?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
No.
I guess not.
Okay.
He used to be on David Letterman show, but later he returned to China. But after that, people here just start forgetting of him.
Right. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I have there been many that have come over to America from China, or is there much of a because there's a comic in Chicago that did stand up in. I've known a few comics that have done stand up in China for a while, so there's like an English speaking scene there.
Yeah,
right?
there is in Shanghai. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's
specifically just there.
Yeah, Shanghai, Beijing. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
There is a market, but their focus should be here.
Right.
Yeah. Who's the comic you're talking about? Who do shows in China?
I see him all the time. I should know his name.
Donnie Fan.
Kirk.
Oh, Kurt. Oh,
Yeah, Kurt.
Guy,
Kurt. Yeah.
Oh, I want to talk about that guy. That guy teaches English in China.
Oh, I didn't know.
But when he speaks English, he's discouraging his students to learn English. You get it?
Oh, okay. Right. That's right. That's funny. I'll tell you, I am the worst about. Do you have trouble with this? Like there's so many comedy scene is so big. There's so many comedians.
Yeah.
There's so many people I've had tons of conversations with, and if you asked me what their name was, I would have a hard time remembering.
Yeah.
You have that?
Yeah, I agree.
It's tough,
Yeah, I think there are at least 1,000 who are regulars in the comedy scene in Chicago. Right?
Yeah, there's so many. Have you traveled much, within the States, like outside of Chicago doing shows?
Not yet. Hopefully I will sometime, but not yet. Right now, I have only done comedy in Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's Chicago's a great spot to be for that, because you have, there's a lot of big comedy scenes that are kind of isolated, like or even Los Angeles. I mean, Los Angeles is, you almost don't need to leave. It's so big. But it's a lot of driving to get, to other cities and stuff like that. Whereas Chicago, you have so many places around, like Milwaukee is an hour and a half away. They've got a good little scene. That'd be a good spot to go up there. You got Detroit, which is only 4 hours away.
Nice.
And then of course Indianapolis, which is down the street.
Oh. So have you ever been on a tour? I mean,
I have quite a few. That's my favorite.
Cool.
Is being on the road. There's something about being in a different town every night. You know what I mean? It's like I don't know. It's like I don't know if it was like this growing up in China, but you grow up like idolizing musicians that are rock stars that are out there on the road, and they don't even remember what town they're in. I don't know. There's something fun about that lifestyle. I think.
Do you have any mentor, or how do you find those gigs on the road?
Okay, so I think one of the best ways to do that is if you're just starting out and you have no connections, go to that town and do their open mics, right? So you go on their Facebook group and you do their open mics, and then you meet people like other comics see you do a set and they like you, think you're funny, and then they'll offer you to do shows, and then next time you come back in.
Oh, I see.
Right, so you can kind of build that way.
Yeah.
So a lot of the connections I've built is just from passing through. You show up at an open mic.
Oh, nice.
You can also, the other way is you can just send a tape. Get a recording. But I don't know why it always works better when someone actually physically sees you with their own eyes.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's always easier to get.
What I like to say is I really love YouTube analytics, because from there, nobody has really watched your clip.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, from the count. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. You can really tell what works and what doesn't. That's true. Yep. It's a whole new world with all that. It's tough. To me, that's a tough thing. Because you want to think about those kinds of things, but you don't want it to also take away from the art. On a certain level, it's like I make this because I like it. Yeah. Who cares if someone else does, right? But you still want it to be successful, so you have to find a balance. Yeah. I mean, do you do that if you, are there like certain types of jokes that you do that you notice don't perform as well, so you kind of stay away from those, or do you think about those kinds of things?
I think for me, I need to keep the jokes shorter for me if I tell a long story. Yeah. Okay. Quite often, I think people will start losing attention in the middle. Right. Yeah.
Especially these days with the you only have under a minute anyways to post the reel and everything. Yeah,
you need to get their attention in 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 10
right.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
Yeah, you got to get them really quick.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about going down to Austin and doing Kill Tony? Have you seen Kill Tony?
Yeah, I searched their website, but it seems it's not guaranteed you can get the spot. That's what my understanding.
I probably they would put you on though. I tell you, because that show, they love anything that's like different or unique. And like I said before, I mean, there's no one is doing what you're doing. I've seen so many comedians. I've been all over the country. I've never seen anyone doing what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely not. And Kill Tony only give you 1 minute, right?
That's true, but hey, that's perfect. You have pretty like concise jokes.
Oh, that's too short.
It is short.
It's not really worth it. Right?
Yeah, I mean, the risk reward is tough with that, because whatever happens, they put it out. Yeah. So if it doesn't go, I don't care how good you are, anyone can have a rough set no matter what, and it can be tough. But I figure with your social media presence, though, it could help.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going down. Austin would be a good place to check out, though.
Yeah, definitely.
In general, it's a big scene.
And New York City, I also want to check it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I bet. What's the biggest city in China? Is it Beijing, or is it?
Probably from population, probably it's not, but I'm not quite sure which city. Yeah, but Beijing and Shanghai.
Okay. Because the size of those cities, like even New York, like dwarfs New York, right?
Yeah, but their population isn't the biggest. I'm not sure right now which one is the biggest.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Not these two.
Yeah, I've never been to New York, so I guess Los Angeles probably is the biggest city. I can't even imagine how enormous those cities in China must be.
Yeah, it's gigantic.
Yeah, I mean, what's it like getting around? I mean, are they because like Chicago's famous for being kind of dangerous? Is it similar? Or is the big cities in China kind of dangerous?
Oh, that's a topic I want to talk with you.
To
be honest, I'm not sure why you invite me, because you are a lover of guns, and these bears, they really hate when people they say, or the right to bear arms. They really hate that.
Do they?
Yeah, bear arms. That's their arm. one
Hey, maybe they can change.
one short bit I like to tell is, the song, "Who wants to live forever? Who wants to live forever?" I think the NRA should use it to honor all the shooting victims.
Okay.
Whenever I tell that one, people will, wow, suddenly quiet down. So I'm not sure why you invite me.
I mean,
It's just they're so different.
yeah, but I'm a comic. I like stuff that's different.
I understand.
I like stuff that's different. I like people who have different views than me. I mean, I don't. It's not fun to just agree all the time, right?
Yeah, because in China, you're not by the law. Yeah, you can own a gun by
Right.
yourself. So
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
very
much
different.
safer. Yeah,
Yeah.
not like here.
Yeah, very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that you do. You're not afraid to do like controversial stuff like that. That's
You
a
mean
risk.
The NRA is controversial. Is
well, but I mean, yeah, for sure, it absolutely is. But I mean,
yeah, your viewers, I know some of them, they will hate this one.
well, I'll tell you what though. The NRA is. Did you bring it up? The NRA is in a weird spot because a lot of gun owners don't like it either. It's kind of interesting because they're taking a lot of heat from both sides, right? People who don't like guns hate the NRA because they support guns, but people who really like guns don't like the NRA because they're not strong enough, right? So they're like in this weird spot where they're kind of taking a lot of heat from both sides.
Yeah.
You can't make everybody happy, right?
Yeah, I understand.
So you don't own any guns in China?
No, nobody's allowed to do that.
You don't think some people will do it anyways? Maybe.
I don't think so. Even in Asia, is
Do they have like gangs in China?
yeah,
like they do here?
definitely. Yeah, but
Yeah.
they may have their own factory to make guns, but that's secret.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll bet it's pretty secret. Can you imagine?
If you have ever watched the gang movies from Asia, you may say that they fight with each other with a knife. Or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, with a hammer or something.
Yeah.
Guns are not good. Sometimes not. Yeah, the Korean movies, they fight with each other with a hammer.
Oh, yeah.
With an axe.
That sounds worse than getting shot, I think.
It's fun to watch. It's much.
Yeah.
It looks better than the gun, actually.
It's true. Knife fighting is pretty impressive. I think if someone pulled a knife on me, I'd probably just run away. Yeah. I know. I've had people tell me that they're like, oh yeah, when I walk the streets in Chicago, I carry a knife. It's like, what are you gonna do with that? Bring a knife to a gunfight? It's not gonna work. Unless it's like one of those. You ever seen those knives where you push a button and it shoots out like a ballistic knife?
Never seen that yet.
They're pretty good.
I believe so.
I assume you never shot a gun before.
Not really. So that's
Okay,
why I'm
we gotta do
surprised.
that. We gotta do that. We gotta shoot a gun. Hey, that'll go.
I think that's necessary. Yeah. At least
Yeah.
you should know how to do it.
Yeah, that'll be your most viral clip.
Yeah.
The bears shoot one too.
They stop bitching about your right to bear arms. That's what they like to say.
Oh man, they don't. They don't like that everyone's trying to take their arms.
Yeah.
They don't like it. Yeah, I can understand why bears would be upset about that. That makes sense. I can accept that. I can get okay with that. Yeah, you may not know this, but Chicago actually has, as far as America, Chicago has some of the most strict gun
Really?
laws. Not the most, but it's pretty strict. Because where I'm from in Tennessee, you can basically have about anything, most things, but Chicago is a lot more restricted.
Actually, I lived in Texas for a couple months before, so.
Oh, okay, all right. So there you go. You didn't shoot a gun while you're in Texas? Yeah. The Bears probably couldn't buy a gun. They wouldn't. How old are the Bears? I mean, could they pass? Are they old enough to buy a gun?
Yeah, they are born in the late 90s, so they are
okay, all right.
Gen Z, right? They
Yeah.
just call themselves Beanie Babies, but they're grown-ups.
Okay. Yeah. All right, that's good. I mean, that's good because a lot of you're taking them into bars and things like that, and you wouldn't be able to bring them in if they weren't old enough, right? That'd be a problem. You doing any spots tonight?
Just open mic
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah, yeah. Same here. What's your favorite like open mic to do in the city?
Uh, right now, have you ever been to the Emerald City on Wednesday?
I have not.
Yeah,
I have
that
not.
one. Yeah, I go very often. And what else? The Harringons on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I'll be there tonight. I like that one.
Yeah,
I like Harrigan's because one, I think it's important to be in a big city like Chicago because there's a lot of good comics
yeah,
and there's a lot of people who are I don't know what the right word is, but it keeps you from like being hacky if you're in a big scene where there's a lot of comedy, happening. But you also want to make sure you're doing stuff that will like work on the road, and that's what I like about Harrigan's because it's just kind of like a dingy dive bar. You know what I mean? So if you can get something to work there,
yeah, yeah. It can work everywhere. I understand it's tough.
exactly. Because there's some rooms in the city that are kind of too supportive almost. You know what I mean? So it's good to do those tough rooms because even though it's a struggle and you may have a rough set, but you can that saying steel sharpens steel, right?
Yeah.
Resistance is good for comedy, I think.
Sure. And that's called the Red Line VR. That one used to be pretty good, but
Yeah, I've not done that one.
yeah, it's good. The Friday night at Annoyance Theater. Yeah,
Oh right,
that
yeah,
one
yeah.
it's late. It's just late night. Actually,
Yep.
the Bears have done a couple of shows there.
Oh, really? Okay.
Past few years, yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's a cool place. All those different rooms up there.
Uh, it's just a younger comedians because it's
Right.
late night.
Yeah, true.
A Friday night, yeah.
True, yeah. It is very similar to there's a place here in Chicago called the Lincoln Lodge, which
Oh yeah, I know.
yeah.
That's very close to here.
Yeah, just very
Yeah.
cool.
Do you go to their Monday open mic?
I do, yeah.
Yesterday I was at the 8-bit.
Oh, cool. Okay.
8-bit, yeah. Eight.
Yeah, the people that don't know they have a bunch of mics there. That's again what's cool about because I come from Nashville, which is because you've only done comedy in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's so you've not maybe had that experience, but like being in a smaller scene, there's only one or two open mics, if you're lucky, one or two open mics every night, right? So you have to basically go to all of them if you're going to do a lot of sets, when you're starting out and working on the material. But in a big scene like Chicago, every night there's 10 to 15 different ones, to choose from, right?
Yeah.
I'm kind of bad about, I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but I sort of stick to I kind of have my rotation. There's the 2 or 3 that I sort of stick to every night because you're probably similar. Like once you learn what that room is,
Yeah.
you can get a better kind of gauge on your material. I feel like,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, Whereas like one of my favorite things to do is Monday night. For the people who don't know, there's this bar in Chicago called Shuba's. Have you ever been
Oh
there?
yeah.
Yeah, and they have an open mic there on
Monday.
Thursday nights.
yeah.
I said Monday, but I meant Thursday.
Yeah.
And then there's another bar called Pony Inn,
Oh yeah, I know that place.
right? And they're walking
ju-
distance from each other,
Yeah.
and they're vastly different
I-
crowds. So it's fun to
Really?
do.
I think that people just when they finish one, they will go to the other.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
They should be the same crowd.
They should, but it's different. Yeah, there's some
Really?
people that go to both, but
Yeah.
it is different because you do Shubas and they like like edgier stuff doesn't work as well there. They like more like fun, silly stuff.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? And then you go to the other one, and that's where
Yeah,
it's
late
later. People have
night,
been drinking, and
Yeah.
they want to hear
I
about some.
understand this.
you know.
Late night, yeah.
Yeah. And it's great. Like doing the same jokes at both is great.
Shubas is just getting too popular for me. You have to wait for
Oh,
a
yeah.
long time. I used to go to that one, but not anymore. It's just too popular.
Yeah, it's tough to get on that one. I usually will show up late at the end, so I don't have to wait forever, which is a good way to do it. That's the downside of a huge scene too. Is there's like 50 comics trying to get on an open mic.
Yeah, and I recommend the Wednesday at the Emerald City. That one is good. That's close to the Red Line Wilson stop.
Okay.
Red Line Wilson, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. What like yeah, have you ever thought about doing like I'm trying to think. I've not been out of the country before.
No
But are there places like near China, like other countries that you would go and do stand up? You know, like
Probably in the future I will try, but I haven't done that yet.
yeah.
You know, it's the funny thing is this time I did an open mic in Beijing. It's called they say it's an English comedy club, but it turned out most of their audience are English learners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there was an American who told a couple of jokes but didn't work because people don't really understand.
Okay. What's
But
that?
you know, actually that's better because she was telling a joke about a crackhead that
Oh.
doesn't fit the law in China. You know, the less
Oh, yeah.
the less they know, the better. I think.
Yeah. That's true. If you say it in English, you might get away with it, right? Because they don't know. How? Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if you can answer this, but I'm just curious. Like the government in China, how? I mean, what is like Chinese comedy movies? I guess they have to be pretty tame, right, compared to what you would see in America.
The official ones, yes.
Okay, so there's some underground Chinese comedy. Okay, interesting.
It's just hilarious, I think.
Yeah, What are the underground Chinese clubs? You know, where you can talk about drugs and things like that.
You know, drugs really
Yeah.
isn't a Chinese thing. To be honest,
Okay.
it's very different. But,
Okay.
but you must wish nobody's recording you.
Oh,
Or-
right. Yeah. What about is it mostly public transit in like where you're from in China, or do you drive? You know.
You know what? This is one thing I want to talk about. There's one
Okay.
thing which is very popular and very efficient in China, but there's a no in the U.S. That's the high-speed railway.
Oh,
You know that?
okay. How does that work? Like, where does it go, and how do you? Is it underground or?
It's above ground. It's like
Okay.
like for example, if here we want to go to Milwaukee, there should be ideally there should be like for the distance like 20 minutes train. If there is one, you will take it right instead of driving.
Right.
Yeah, in China that's that's almost everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah, for that distance. And that's very necessary. Like if I want to go to St. Louis, there should be like a 1 hour train, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's very necessary. But
That would
there
be.
isn't.
I know. Yeah, we need that because
Yeah, definitely.
a train that's like flying, that'd be incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you feel like just some of the technology is just better there for when it comes to those kinds of things? I mean, because I would imagine because of the cities being so densely populated, right?
Yeah,
They've
yeah,
been
that's
forced
true.
to develop more of that.
There's so many buildings, but you know, lots of buildings were not really occupied. They just built it. They didn't really plan how, if not anyone will really use it. So
Really?
yeah, unfortunately, so
Huh.
there's so many. They will later become ghost buildings in the suburb.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunately.
What are I mean, so is there like suburbs that the people like live out further out, and like what are the houses like more in the suburbs? Is like here?
Not
in
houses, like
America?
they're mostly skyscrapers.
Oh really? Okay.
Not skyscraper, like 20-story buildings. Is that called
Oh.
a skyscraper? No.
Okay. so there aren't as many just like individual houses out there.
No, not that there are, but not that popular.
Really?
Mostly
Okay.
are just like 20 to 40-story buildings.
Okay.
Yeah.
How far? What was the city you said you grew up in?
Tianjin.
Tianjin. Okay.
Tianjin, yeah.
Tianjin. How far did you have to go from there to get to where be like in a rural area where it's just countryside and?
Countryside. If I take the train, it's very fast, like 20 minutes.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's the high-speed railway. Yeah,
Okay.
drive is more than an hour.
Okay. Interesting. What is that? What is the Chinese countryside like there? I mean, just
Oh, that's.
I bet it's incredible.
Then you will notice that the agriculture in the U.S. is really very developed. Very developed.
Really?
Yeah, it's China. They're still looks very basic.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here is the yeah, you notice the equipment they use is really the next level.
Okay.
Yeah.
So America's got trying to beat when it comes to agriculture, but
Yeah.
not trains.
No, but U.S. I think that somebody. I'm not sure. I think that's the political reasons why they don't really want to build the trains. They want people to drive more. But I think that's very necessary. Like San Francisco to Los Angeles.
Right.
You definitely need one, and here like to St. Louis to Milwaukee, you also need one.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like the freedom of driving if I'm going to a lot of places. But yeah, it's inconvenient if you just need to go to a certain city. Airports are inconvenient. I mean, a train would be incredible.
Yeah, like if 5 hours, I think for a 5 hours drive, if drive is too long, but if you take the train is, but if you fly is a little short, it's between the middle, right?
But the flying takes a long time because of the airport, all the security and all that.
Yeah, that's why the train are necessary in China. You just get on the train, there's barely any security.
Yeah. How long is, when you fly back home, how long of a flight is that?
Oh my, that's the disaster this time. Because right now the war in Russia, so the U.S. flies, they don't fly over Russia anymore. So I have to, before there was a direct flight to Tianjin, but to Beijing. But now, they have to stop in Hong Kong and go from Hong Kong to where I'm from.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so this time it takes 31 hours on the way there because the layover is 12 hours in the airport. Yeah, it's terrible.
31 hours. And is it just like a normal seat, or is it you have a little more space? Can you like sleep and?
I just flew economy.
Oh, man, that's rough.
Yeah.
Wow.
30 minutes.
I thought I flew from, the longest flight I've ever done was 9 hours, which was.
The flight itself is like 14 hours, but the layover at the airport.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit of a break before you.
Gotcha. Airport is 12 hours, but it's.
Still 14, that's crazy.
But it arrived in Hong Kong like 9 o'clock in the evening, and the next flight is 9 o'clock in the morning the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I did go outside, but there's just not too much you can watch at night,
Yeah.
Everything's closed.
Yeah. The time change really messes with your head. Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, it'd be interesting to go sometime.
Yeah, you need the visa first.
Well, yeah. That's true. You gotta ask permission from the government. Because I wonder what. I know someone who does comedy in Thailand. There's a really big scene out there. I'd like to kind of be cool to like go to different countries and
definitely.
I feel like it would really have to. There's no way it can't improve your comedy to do it in the most amount of places.
From what my understanding, right now there are like 20 to 30 comedy clubs in China which focus on English comedy in the whole country, and in Shanghai there are like 5, I think.
Okay, they bring in a lot of American.
Yeah, there are expats. Yes.
Okay, like before you started comedy, did you ever go to those clubs?
No, never.
Never
I started here.
Okay.
In Hong Kong, I think there are more.
Okay, and that was sort of what got you started, was the class you did at Second City.
Yeah, I just suddenly I want to tell some jokes. That's it. Just suddenly have an idea. Yeah, let me tell some jokes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's how I started. Actually, maybe I started. The first English joke I ever attempted was the first month I arrived in the U.S. I was a student, and in the student show I said this one. This show is called International Idol, but I think the real international idol is Michael Jackson. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a controversial, but
yeah.
Yeah, but still, he's a legend.
Right. Yeah.
I don't believe whatever the rumors are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think he did it?
No.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know the guy, so you never know. What about Bill Cosby? Is he guilty?
I believe so.
Okay, Bill Cosby. All right, so yes, Bill Cosby, but
Bill
not.
Cosby, no, not Michael.
But not
Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
The investigation have been going on for years. They didn't find anything. Right?
That's true. Yeah.
Bill Cosby. That's the other guy.
You know,
I believe I can fly. What's the guy's name? I believe I can fly. That I forget his name.
Michael Jordan.
Oh no, I believe I can fly. That guy. Jeez.
Bill Hicks.
Oh no, the singer is. I believe I can fly.
Oh, who does that? I don't know.
I believe I can. Jeez, I forget his name.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look it up. Let's see who it
That's
is.
Chicago singer. That one.
All right.
Just forget his name.
All right, I gotta know this. Let's see.
Jeez.
We're gonna. Sorry, everyone's. Oh, it's R. Kelly. Oh,
R. Kelly,
R. Kelly.
Forget his name.
Now I know why you were bringing that up. Yeah, I was like, okay, all right. Yeah. Ooh,
Mentioned
R.
Bill
Kelly.
Cosby.
Yeah.
I forget.
Yeah, that's the other one. That's the trio right there of shame, except for Michael Jackson. He didn't do it. I don't know with Michael. I mean, I have no idea. He's definitely odd. That's for sure. You know, it's tough. Like for people who are that famous, you know, they're kind of strange people, anyways. And then there's a lot to be gained from like making some sort of allegation or something like that. So, and then also they have the money to maybe get away with it. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to know what's going on with a lot of those. Yeah. Like Bill Cosby still swears up and down that he's innocent. You know, who knows? He Bill Cosby was talking about going on tour.
Bill
Again.
Cosby is over 80, I believe.
I know. I don't know how he would do it. Yeah.
Who will watch him? I doubt
Yeah,
it.
true. Yeah. Yeah. What would he have to talk about now?
But you know what? I did watch Louis C.K.
Oh yeah, do you like Louis?
I think he's. You know what? Actually, when I was watching him, my thoughts are. I think for some Chicago local comedians, they write good stuff. But if theirs rhythm is as good as Louis C.K., they will be on the next level. That's what I thought.
It's true.
But
He
when
does
I
have a
was
great
watching
rhythm.
him,
Yeah, he does have a great rhythm. Who are like some of your other favorites comics do you like?
Mitch Hedberg.
Oh,
You know
Mitch
him?
Hedberg is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Mitch Hedberg. My favorite Mitch Hedberg joke is the one where he's talking about playing loud music and then his neighbor bangs on the wall. And he's like, "Go around. I cannot open the wall." That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. A shame he's not around anymore. What do you like Dimitri Martin? To me, he's like kind of the next best thing.
Yeah. Steve Wright. That's
Stephen Wright. Yeah,
a little similar to Mitch Hedberg.
True. Yeah, Stephen Wright. He was kind of the original one-liner guy. Yeah, I like that stuff. What about like locally?
Dave Chappelle.
Oh yeah. I saw Dave Chappelle at the United.
Yeah, he's
Center.
sharp. Really, I missed it. I didn't know.
Yeah.
And also, I looked at the list. His openers are also pretty strong.
Oh yeah.
I missed it, unfortunately.
Yeah. What about in Chicago? Do you have any like favorites that you see around?
There are quite a few, actually.
Other than me, obviously, I'm your favorite. But other than me, what are the other ones that you like?
I'm trying to think. Just to name a few.
Sorry, I don't want to put you on the spot. What about Brandon Kiefer? Do you think he's funny?
Is he your friend?
No, I was just curious.
Yeah. I think he's funny. He plays the guitar, right?
He does, the ukulele.
Yeah.
It's hard to respect a man that plays a ukulele, you know?
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
Ukulele.
I'm just kidding. I like Brandon. It's like, get a bigger guitar. What are you doing? You know? That's all he can handle. That's his. I assume that Brandon plays the ukulele because that's as big of a guitar as he can handle. That's what I'm thinking. You know?
You should play that's called the bagpipes.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do look like a bagpipe guy. Hey, no one's done that before. Hey, I could be as original as you if I did play the bagpipe. No, it doesn't compete with the Bears. That's for sure. I will say, when I first started comedy, I tried doing. I won't say it's not guitar comedy because there weren't songs, but I would do bits where I like play the guitar and I tried to have like a bit that would go with it. And I don't still do it, so it did not go well.
You know what? I think the singing comedians, if they keep repeating something, that's just corny.
Oh,
That's what I think. But if they keep bringing something new in the lyric, that's
right.
fun.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen some. I mean, Adam Sandler. Do you like Adam Sandler?
I don't quite.
Adam Sandler, like you ever seen like his classic movies like Big Daddy and Happy Gilmore?
Oh, I'm not quite familiar.
Okay, well he's a good
Yeah.
guitar comic. Trying to think of some others. Yeah, there's a few. You know, stand-ups are oddly particular about things like that. Like anything that strays too far from what stand-up is, you know, they start to be like, I don't know. Like a lot of stand-ups are dismissive of guitar comics, you know.
Ah.
You know, which is like on some level I get it, but if it's funny, it's funny, right? Who
Yeah,
cares?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I don't. I think what what I think is if you don't have to sing, you don't.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have
Yeah.
to. It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like I mean that's what you know is interesting to me about you again is like I like it when comedians can find like a different way to be funny. You know what I mean? Especially as a comic, like I'm used to seeing the same stuff over and over and over. You know how it is. You're at the open mics and different things. You're seeing all these comics. And it's like everyone's kind of doing the same thing, and it's understandable because it's so difficult, and there are certain things that are a little easier to be funny with. So I get it. I mean, I'm guilty of it too, you know. But yeah, when you see something different, you're like, oh yeah, you know, that's like if I see you go on stage, I'm gonna watch. You know what I mean? If I'm ready to leave and I see you go up, I'm gonna stay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'm always gonna watch every
You know,
time.
the funny thing is, actually, I didn't really watch stand up before I do stand up.
Mm.
Yeah, because you know I wasn't grown up here.
Right.
I don't really have what idea of what a stand up really is. At the beginning, my thoughts are just telling some jokes.
Right.
Yeah, only after I did my student showcase, I started to research who are the famous U.S. comedians,
Yeah.
what they're doing. But
Yeah.
right now, what I find is many people, I don't think they really have jokes. They're just venting.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And also for female comedians, I think they're just sometimes they're just talking too much about sex, but there's nothing funny. Yeah, if a guy they tell those bits, he will be kicked out of stage. What I think sometimes that's my end. How I feel.
Do you have any favorite female comics?
You know what that is called Michelle Wolf.
Oh yeah, she's great.
Michelle Wolf.
Yeah.
And like Wanda Vikes, is that her name?
Wanda Sykes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you one of my favorites that maybe a lot of people don't know. I hope I'm not saying her name wrong. She's a New York based comedian.
Yeah.
It's like Liz Mel, I think is how you pronounce it. Let me make sure I'm going to spell it. I don't want to make sure I don't disrespect her name.
Not a fan is like Ali Wong. That's not my cup of tea.
You don't like Ali Wong? Yeah, it's Liz Mel. I guess it's spelled Lizmiele, but she's hilarious. She has like this great YouTube special that I love. But yeah, I mean that's the one. I don't know. Did you have this experience where were there comedians that you liked when you first started doing comedy but then after you were in for a few years you didn't like anymore?
That's the guy is called Anthony Jeselnik, right?
Oh yeah,
that's his last name. I think that's Jeselnik, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the beginning I think he's funny, but later I thought he's just he can just do one thing.
Oh right.
Later I find it.
Right. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
There's been a bunch of comics like that for me where I thought were great, but then over time, I mean, it's not even that they're bad. It's just that once
they're just following the same pattern, all of his jokes and his new
and really comics
specials.
Comics are not always a great critic of stand-up in a way because it's like we're a tough audience because we see so much. You know, we're going to be a lot more. I don't know what the right word is, but you know, we're not going to be as fair, you know, because we understand how it works. You know,
like Anthony Jeselnik, all of the people surrounding him died or something terrible happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only thing he can do. I'm no longer a fan.
Yeah, I get that. He has this joke that I do like though that's stuck in my head where he's like some lady. I was waiting for the line at the bathroom, and some lady goes, "Hey, will you hold my baby?" And I said, "Yes, for a while." You know, I always thought that was pretty good.
That's funny.
Do you know? What's this guy? I'm trying to remember. Oh man, the name's on the tip of his tongue. He has this like crazy Emo Phillips.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so special.
Yeah.
No, that guy reminds me of one comedian in Chicago,
Oh, who's that?
Ryan Oliver.
Okay, Ryan Oliver. You guys probably don't know him, but he's one of my favorites in the city. Very funny.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
their feelings a little
Yeah.
similar.
I could see that. Yeah, Emo Phillips is wild. He, you know, you know that old American TV show, Miami Vice?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, Emo Phillips is in there. I mean, some of these guys, I forget how long they've been around, you know, and you'll just see them pop up. You watch something from the 80s, and it's like, oh, there he is. You know? What do you think is the what do you feel like is the next step? You know, you're kind of working on your act, you're building your act or whatever. You know, are you looking to like do the road next, or trying to or do more clubs and stuff, or do something different with your online stuff?
I'm not sure, but one thing I will keep building is the Bears. Their show right now, they're just doing episodes by episodes, not really very well connected between the transition isn't
Okay.
very good yet. But I will keep building the
Oh, okay.
building the real play.
Okay.
Yeah,
Are you
the flow smoothly.
Are you gonna stick with Bears, or are you gonna maybe do some
Yeah,
different?
that's one thing. One thing is with the Bears. Also for myself, yes, definitely I want to do a special of my own.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think it's great. It's a great time that we live in where you can, self-produce your own special, put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's very cool.
Yeah, lots of my jokes, they are actually, I'm just played dumb. Yeah, I think that's called the
course.
dry humor, deadpan something.
Yeah.
But also, I want to tell more smart jokes, the
Yeah.
witty jokes, the sharp jokes. That's what I'm trying to.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not really very good at that, the sharp ones.
It's tough.
The edgy ones, I'm not really good at
Yeah.
it. But I will try.
Yeah, I think every comic sort of starts out being good at one thing,
Yeah.
and I think no matter like outside of comedy,
Yeah.
like the key to figuring something out is like you got to get good at one thing first,
Yeah.
and then that will teach you how to get good at other things. I think.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because almost all skill, like the way you learn every skill, is kind of the same. If you think about it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also, recently a friend was watching my clip and she said there's no transition between these jokes.
Hey,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, I used to think that they're short, so I don't need transition. But now I feel maybe I need something.
You could, or you wouldn't have to.
Yeah.
Mitch Hedberg didn't have transitions.
Yeah, but he's a one-liner. Mine a bit longer than one-liners.
Okay. So we'll do like more like stories and stuff like that.
No, my jokes. The clip I show her mostly are like a 1 minute bit. The idea, the same idea goes 1 minute, and then another idea.
Oh, right.
And she says, you need more transition between them.
Yeah, I went through that where when I started, I was a one-liner comic, and I started adding at first I had these like very crude transitions, you know what I mean? Where it'd be like, I'd say things like, speaking of that, this, things like, but then over time, I figured out better ways to just make it smooth. Or if I didn't have a transition, I didn't like try to fake it. I would just go into the next thing,
Yeah. The very funny thing is whatever I said before, if there was one joke when I tell it, before I tell the real joke, the audience will laugh. But even when I started, whatever the previous bit was, that's when I said, Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah. Whatever, I transition from whatever to this name. Everyone will laugh.
You think Jeffrey Epstein is guilty?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the joke is Jeffrey Epstein, when he first, sorry, what is that? Jeez, I forget what the joke is. When he first went from a billionaire to an inmate, he wouldn't realize soon he would get the hang of it.
That's funny. Yeah, old Epstein. That's
that's a name. Whenever I mention the name, people will start laughing.
Yeah, I know.
That's funny.
I was like,
No transition necessary.
yeah, I was thinking it's tough if your name just happened to be Jeffrey Epstein. You know what I mean? That's tough. You're gonna have to be Jeff. You can't be Jeffrey anymore if your last name is Epstein.
Good thing is Epstein isn't a very popular family name, right?
True. Yeah. There's a few. There's some out there, but yeah, it's not. Thank God.
Not
it's
too bad.
Yeah. We looked at with like Hitler. There's not a lot of other Hitlers. You know, if like a guy named Smith ever like created some atrocity, you know, a lot of people would be in trouble.
Yeah.
It'd be tough. Yeah. I never thought about that before. Like people who have done horrific things, luckily have unique enough names that it doesn't just wipe out too many, too many names. You know.
Yeah, actually, my legal name Jia Liu. This is there are so many Jia Lius in China. But
Okay.
Jollibee probably I'm the one and only.
Okay. Yeah. That's right. They kind of So it's like almost sounds like Jolly a little bit. It's similar. Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah. It's a nice. Yeah.
Actually, name was what.
Yeah. How'd you?
I did a student showcase in December, and then I was watching YouTube, and they suggested the Mr. Bean's videos to me, and I thought maybe I just should call myself Jolly Bean.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And later, I hired the Bears.
Okay. Okay. So Jolly Bean came from
Mr. Bean, yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Well, what was the Jolly part then? Just from.
Jelly, I don't know. I think it's because it sounds similar to jelly beans.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
It's a good comedian
I like
name.
it's catchy. Like
Yeah.
You're not gonna. I mean, the first time I heard
Don't
it, I didn't.
forget it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I was talking earlier about how it's hard to remember people's names. Not yours. Yeah, I'm not forgetting that. You know? Yeah, that's fascinating. Well, let's see how much time we got. All right. Well, I don't want to let one of these episodes go under
Yeah, no problem.
under an hour. We got 3 minutes away from making it through an hour.
Yeah.
What is like? I would say, what is ask you this: what is your favorite thing that you like about Chicago? I mean, do you like the city of Chicago, or do you plan to?
I think it's the perfect size. Yeah, it's not too big, and it's a real city where there's real public transportation compared
Right.
to cities in Texas.
Right.
Yeah, you still have to drive, and here it's not as expensive as New York City and San Francisco.
Yeah, yeah. I took the words out of my mouth. That's what I like about it.
Yeah,
In a comedy
and
scene,
there's the lake.
right? Yeah, the lake is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the food. What do you think about the food here?
I'm not really a big fan of the deep dish pizza, but
Okay.
I still eat thin crust, and
Yeah.
that's called square cut.
Right. Have you ever been to Pat's?
Oh.
Pat's Pizza. It's like kind of in the Wrigleyville area.
Yeah, I actually live in Wrigley Field.
Oh, you got to try Pat's. Pat's is the best of the.
Oh,
I think
should.
I think it's the best thin crust.
You know what? What I often go to is called oh jeez, what's the
Rinaldi's.
no? There was one they have half off on Wednesday. The thin crust pizza. That's called
Rosati's.
it starts with D dress.
Oh,
Oh, jeez.
D'Agostino's.
Yeah.
Yeah, D'Agostino's. Yeah. Yeah, that one's good. That's a good one. There's also a great pizza place right by the Laugh Factory on Broadway called Rinaldi's.
Oh, never tried that one.
That one's good. It's kind of like New York style
Oh, cool,
pizzeria.
cool. That's my favorite.
Yeah, it's very-
Unfortunately, but I sometimes I will think of deep dish pizza, but
Yeah,
but if there's any left over, there's
yeah.
the heat up the heated deep dish pizza isn't good.
Okay, yeah.
What do you prefer?
Well, I like the deep dish, but I don't eat it very often. Like to me, the deep dish pizza is like a special occasion because it's so it's
Yeah.
so much bread and it fills you up.
You know what? The Bears, they say
They like
they have
deep
a
dish?
joke. You know what? Hey, this Christmas I will have pizza for dinner. Nice, as long as it's not deep dish pizza. Deep dish is not real pizza. What? You're a Chicago Bear, but you don't support deep dish pizza. That's very politically incorrect. Sorry, but my stomach is honest. Chicago-style pizza in one line. Rolling in the deep dish. I could have had it all. No way. I wouldn't have it at all. I'd rather have a pineapple pizza. That's the Bears very politically incorrect.
I got to disagree with the Bears on that one. I do like the deep dish. What's the best, like what Chinese places in Chicago do you think are like legitimate, or do you think they're all bad?
They're okay, I think. Yeah, the Chinatown ones, if they can survive there, they're at least okay.
Okay, so that's probably the place to go.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I've been down there before. I can't remember what it was called, but I ate it once. It was good.
Yeah, it is good.
Yeah.
Next time you should go with a Chinese person.
They can show me what
introduce
to
you
do.
some real dishes.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I'll have to do that. All right, well, I appreciate you coming on. This was a lot of fun, and Jolly Bean, everybody.
Hey.
We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.